Hello, we are out here on public land in rural Pennsylvania. Just thought I would show my setup of my Ozark Trail North Fork wall tent. I bought this last year. I had it out last winter a few times. This is my first time out here the following fall. My buddy brought a few things just to try out. He bought an inverter for his house and he just wanted to see how it worked. So that's not something we'd normally have, but if he wanted to bring it up, I wasn't going to tell him no. But I ended up buying I think it's a Stand Sport camo tarp. I think it's like a 12 by 16 size for a fly because I thought it would make the roof hold up better. I ended up cutting a hole in it for the stove jack. What I did was I reinforced it with some Gorilla Tape, just to give it a little extra strength. You might be able to see, but I kind of lined the edge of it where I cut it out with Gorilla Tape too. It's kind of ghetto, but it kind of does the job, and it fits the size of the tent nice. Gives me a little overhang. It's not much of one. I kind of actually wish it was a couple feet longer, but you know, if it's a rainy day, it keeps stuff out of the tent. And to use that couple extra feet, I ended up buying a cheap tarp pole, and it kind of works out nice. It's right in the middle of the opening, but it really doesn't get in the way. But so in here's my pretty crude setup. This is a Colorado cylinder stove, the Spruce model. There's other people that make stoves just like this. I think there's a Chinese Cabela's knockoff. It's like a Camp Chef Alpine stove or something. It's almost the exact size and everything, but for some reason I decided to buy an American-made version. The tent comes with a stove jack already in it. It's really nice. It supports the pipe. It's a 5-inch pipe, and I think it's tapered up to a 6 at the top. But it stays really sturdy. I've had it out in wind, and I had it in a blizzard last year. Overall, the tent is, for being, well, I paid $400 for it. I think right now, as of 2022, it's a $500 tent on Walmart.com. For being a Walmart tent, it's actually well designed, I think. I mean, you got to be careful putting it up. The tent poles aren't probably as sturdy as conduit or something that might come with a $1,000 canvas wall tent or something fancier, but but it does the job. I have a power pack, and I bought some lights that I strung out here. I just kind of shoved the wire up there into the ridge pole. I bought a little lantern. I'm ashamed at the stuff that I bought on Amazon, but sometimes some of these obscure items, it's the only place you can find them anymore for anything reasonable. So, put another lantern up here. The thing comes with a laundry string, I guess. I actually hadn't used it until today. This is my first multi-night camping trip in this thing, so that kind of came in handy. I ended up buying a set of disco bunk beds for this thing because you can really save a lot of room. I've camped with my 2 young boys in this thing, and being able to bunk the beds really opens up a lot of room. So I put them in the bunk beds, and then I just bring in an air mattress and sleep next to them, which worked out well. I wouldn't mind having another set of these, because then I could get 4 people in here with a lot of room to spare, but they're like over $300. I think I found mine on eBay for like $275. I wasn't even sure if they'd actually ship them to me. I thought I might have gotten scammed, but fortunately I did not. The kitchen needs some improvement. I just have like a 5-foot table here, but it does fit nicely. I I've looked at camp kitchens online, and I really don't like the configuration of any of them, but I'd like to get a sturdier table. This is just the cheapest of cheap. This table is really thin, and things slide on it. So I'd like to maybe buy a new table and maybe glue some like rubber silicone stuff to it so stuff doesn't slide around. Maybe put a paper towel rack on it. Ideally, I'd need to come up with some other system for a sink. Right now, I just use a little tub and a wash rag. It's kind of a pain in the butt, so I'm gonna have to work on that. I just bought a standard old 7-gallon aqua tainer or whatever it's called. What else? My big pet peeve about the floor in this tent is that they just didn't put enough Velcro on the back here. So you can see how along the perimeter there's these Velcro strips that you secure the edges of the floor. They do pin up into the bottom of the poles. I can't really, they're hard to show you, but there's like little key poles, for lack of a better word, those key pins that go up into the poles with the tent fabric. But they just need to add more. Need to add more of that, more of that Velcro. What else? These stoves are nice, but the water tank is, I don't know, I don't really use it. It's a nice idea, but you have to keep them full of water or they'll warp and the welds will crack, I think. And you can dry them out, at least from my experience. Like, you can't put water in and it necessarily stays there all night. Results may vary. Probably my only other little small complaint about this tent, and it's a pretty small complaint, these sod flaps, it'd be nice if they put some anchor points along this just to secure the bottom. I'm probably at some point going to get grommets on my own and install them, a few pieces along each side, just to make that more secure. And the other thing, I went ahead and bought some rebar stakes. I think I got them off of walltentshop.com. The stakes that they come with, they actually worked out okay, but they just don't seem that secure. They're basically these. They're just a lot smaller compared to a piece of 1/2-inch rebar, 5/8 rebar, I forget what they are. These are a lot shorter. Unfortunately, I'm up here on a mountain, and this mountain ground is very rocky, so I had my struggles getting these into the ground. I did bring a 10-pound sledge along, and I thought it would be overkill, but actually I definitely needed it. So, you know, results may vary. Here's the back. I have it over my tarp fly overlapped a little bit. You can see one that I bent, trying to bust into the ground, but I do suggest getting heavier stakes than what come with the tent. My cylinder stove, I'd like to get a better spark arrestor. They just give you the little mesh bag. It's already kind of splitting down the fold. I don't know, I guess they only last for so many uses and then they just start to burn out. But it stayed on. We've had a little bit of wind and breeze here these past 2 days. So it did stay on, but I'll probably get another one. I had a band clamp for it, but I lost it, so I didn't have that for this trip, but it stayed on. We've had wind, it's not really a problem. But yeah, it's a pretty good tent. I was hoping to do some archery hunting today, but I got kind of lazy and it's kind of warm anyway. So I'll probably just go in and take a nap. It takes me a little while to set up. I can get everything set up in like an hour if I have a second guy. But if it's just me and my kids, it takes me like at least twice that long. I mean, you could rush through it. I'm not out here to like overwork myself. So I take my time. I feel like it probably took me more like 2.5 hours to get everything set up. You know, different day might have taken me 3. But my buddy, he's got his hunting stuff here. He's not here at the site at the moment. But yeah, so really like it. There's no other tent this nice on the market that is in this price range. If you need a tent like this from anywhere else, you're getting a canvas wall tent from elsewhere online, and you're going to pay probably $1,000 just for starters. And a lot of those don't even come with a frame. You have to cut conduit, and they'll sell you like an angle kit for all the joints. So if you want to get a wall tent or get into it or give it a try, this is your best entry into that market. So anyway, that's all I got. Thanks.